If you're not doing this, your songs are going to be forgettable. No one's going to want to sing them. No one's going to want to listen back to them. They're going to be whack, okay? Make sure that in every song yo Ogwan, hope you're having a great day. I look like a ghost, wild. Let's get rid of a little bit of that light, but this is the light that I'm using for my camera, so we're going to keep it up. Basically, in this video, you're going to learn how to make your songs catchy, how to make them better, how to make people sing along to those songs and actually want to listen to your song again and again and again. Very, very important, isn't it? Now, okay, I look like a ghost. Let's pretend that's not happening. But what I want you to know is that if you watch through to the end of this video, you're going to learn a bunch of little tricks that's going to help you out a lot when it comes to your songwriting. Now, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carteret from jcarteret.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business, and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel because you will love it here, guaranteed. Now, my question of the day is, how do you make your songs more catchy and memorable right now? Let me know in that comment section down below, and that's going to be super interesting to see what kind of techniques you're already using. Let's go to the other camera. Okay. Super excited to be using my camera, my new lens and whatnot. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about songwriting. We're going to be giving you some examples, and I'm going to be kind of giving you some tips. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 basic things that you can be implementing in your song right now to make it more catchy, to make people remember your song, and to make people want to listen to your song way more. Okay, now I'm going to be sharing some examples from my own songs, and if you want to listen to my full list of songs, just go to jcarteret.com/Spotify, or go to Spotify and search for Jay Carteret, and you'll find my songs over there. Now, I will be sharing some unreleased songs, so keep in mind that they're not mixed and mastered and that sort of stuff. Okay, does that sound good to you? All right, great. So the first thing I want to teach you about is parallel lines. Now, parallel lines is when you basically, most of the line is saying the same thing each way around. Let me give you an example. Let's actually bring up Google Docs to make it super easy for you to see what's going on. Now, the main crux of this video is how to use repetition correctly. So let me show you how we do this in terms of parallel lines, okay? So parallel lines is basically repeating the same line a few times, but actually saying something different. So I did this in my song Trust, and I do this now and again in different songs. So let's actually bring up my song Trust, and I'll show you where these parallel lines are in action. So the parallel lines actually start in the second verse. So let's play this back right now, okay? Alone, yeah. Smiling through the pain. Hate being the smartest in the room. Hate when niggas ain't got real opinions, they just say what's on the news, yeah. Hate when people say they want the truth. Hate when you don't want the truth unless it sound convenient to you, yeah. Hate that I love to help you grow. Love to see you doing better than you did before. So, with that, we've got hate when I've forgotten the lyrics already. Hate being the smartest in the room. Hate when niggas ain't got real opinions, they just say what's on the news. Hate when you say you want the truth. Hate when you don't want the truth unless it sounds convenient to you. But I'm not going to write down all the bars because it's not necessary right now. But the point is, yeah, that with this, yeah, every line is starting with hate. We do this for about 5 lines, and then I start each line with love, which is the opposite, which basically kind of ties you into listening to the next line, because you kind of expect what's coming next. You expect that it's going to be another line about hating and what I hate and that sort of stuff. So your ears are familiar to it already. From like 3 lines, you kind of get what's coming next, and you can continue down that road, and it's easier to listen to than if I was switching everything up with each line. And also, when I start changing it to love, now you've also got that relation with the hate and love thing that also keeps it very, very familiar, very similar, that helps you move along through the song as well. So that is parallel lines in a nutshell, and this is something that you should be using in your songwriting 100%. Just using the same kind of thing, like hate is just the, you know, first word that I'm using. But if I was like hate when something happens, then I'm like hate when something else happens, hate when nothing happens, hate when blah blah blah, that would be even more parallelogram. The more words that you're matching, the more parallel everything's going to be. The thing with, I don't know if it's parallelogram, I don't know if that's the same, but parallelism, I think that's the term. But the thing with parallel lines is you want them to be as parallel as possible. So if it says hate when, then that's very parallel. And the things that are changed are the things that are new, the things that make it more interesting, the things that draw you in, basically. Okay, so that's the first thing, parallel lines. The next thing you want to do is repeating the end word or phrase, and I believe I've done this in my latest song. Let's listen back to it. I'm not 100% sure. Repeating the end word or phrase of a line can kind of drill that into someone's head. So if you have a line like I'm the best there ever was. So I'm kind of repeating the end line, you see, and things drive into the next line. Now let me play something else where I'm kind of just repeating the last word. Instead of rhyming it with something else, I'm just repeating the same word, which is, to me, it's a lazy rhyme, but it can definitely work. So let's play this back.
See 100 just to prove that I can do it. Rich soon, but I ain't rich, yeah. No one built an empire being a bitch, yeah. Bet all on myself, they said it wouldn't work. Like I said, the profits went up when them I couldn't work, huh? Made my first grand doing hand to hand all day, licking shorts, moving like a cameraman.
So there I used work twice in 2 different lines, and they matched up with each other. And this is kind of like, we could use this in a parallel lines situation the same way, but instead of having the same thing at the beginning, we can have it at the end. So we could say, time waits for no man, I don't bow to no man, king round where I know man, something like that. Like very simple. Like these aren't like bars that I'd use, but this is me repeating the last phrase. Okay, that's something you can do, and that'll be really catchy. The next thing you can do is repeating the beginning word or phrase. That's number 3, and we've got, how many did I say? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so number 3 is repeating the beginning word or phrase, which is kind of what I showed you in the parallel lines part. So I'm not gonna go over it again. There's no need to belabor the point. Okay, now let me move this fan out of the way because it's not happy with me turning around in my chair, going from camera to camera. But basically, the next thing you want to do is repeat the same word or flow. This is basically a video on how to use repetition correctly, okay, and how to use it so that your songs are more catchy. Now, what I see happen a lot, and what I've sometimes tried to do is, you know, to try and seem very skilled, like a skilled rapper and whatnot, you try to switch up the flow a lot to show that you got skills and whatnot, and that's not the best way to write a song. Okay, you want to find a melody or flow that works, and you want to bring that in a lot. Now I tend to do this a lot with my pre-choruses. I'm always repeating the same melody, repeating the same flow in my pre-choruses generally. Sometimes I'll change it up a little bit, but it's also great for when you're beginning different verses. Your verses can have the same melodies in each verse. So let me show you an example of this, where in it's Tony Montana is a song where in the beginning of the first verse, well, let me just play it to you.
Like you, eat a face mask, during sex, only time I finish lost, bad guy, drip or drown, mind the slime, bad guy, nobody thinks of the villain, yeah, spare all the women and children, I'm gonna get to 1 million, yeah, just to rap about being rich, I was young and I was seeing bricks.
Okay, so that's that 4-bar of flow and melody. Let's
during sex, only time I bad guy.
And now the second verse, same melody, same flow, and it just keeps things consistent and keeps your listener being able to listen to everything without it being jarring, basically, and with it just being easy listening, which is what you want.
Everyone thinks they're the hero. No one saved me. Backwards on zero. On the road to see $1 billion. Yeah, they're gonna tweet that I shouldn't exist. Losers hate when you're winning. Damn, insecure about their own shit.
So this, I did switch up the flow, but the lead in to the switch up to the flow was the exact same leading as the first verse. The first verse was, everyone thinks they're the hero. No one saved me. Bank was on zero. On the road to see $1 million. Yeah, they're gonna tweet that I shouldn't exist. Losers hate when you. No, that's the wrong. Like, that's the wrong verse. But you see how it just blends in. And now the second verse is, nobody thinks they're the villain. Losers hate me. Nobody thinks they're the villain. The first verse was nobody thinks they're the villain. And the second verse was, everyone thinks they're the hero. No one saved me. Bank was on zero. On the road to see $1 billion. Yeah, they're gonna tweet that I shouldn't exist. Losers hate when you're winning. Damn, insecure about their own shit. Yeah, freeze time, ice the wrist. Yeah, loads of stuff. But the thing is, it was the opposite of what came before, which is another interesting trick that we'll talk about a little bit more later down the line. But repeating the same melody or flow, definitely a very useful tactic. Next up is repeating the same line, which I did show you. No, I didn't show you that. I believe, have I repeated the same line in any of these songs? No, I don't think I have. I haven't done that in a long time, but repeating the same line is a last resort, but it does drive that point home. If you've got a particular line that you're saying something and you're saying something interesting, you can use it again to drive the point home. I might have used this in a song, but I don't remember what song I actually used it in. We'll just leave that alone. You already know what repeating the same line is, isn't it? I don't need to explain that to you. So the next tip or hack that you can use is repeating the same section. And I do this with my pre-choruses. So let's go to Change, which I like this pre-chorus a lot.
Least you can do is pay. I can't let you lose, yeah, it's gone to from.
So in every song, I use pre-choruses in pretty much all my songs because I just like the way that's set up and I like the way that feels. I have a pre-chorus that leads you into the chorus and that has the same melody. That's basically the same section. The second time you hear it, I'll add different inflections, but it's basically the same thing. And when you repeat the same section, people are familiar with it. It's easier for them to listen to. Like the chorus, you always want to repeat your chorus. Of course, you have more than one of your chorus and you have that repeat, and that'll be something where everyone comes together and they can sing it because they heard it the first time, they remember it, they hear it the second time, maybe they haven't remembered all of the words, but by the third time they should kind of know what's happening if you have your chorus playing 3 times. But let me show you the pre-chorus and I guess chorus of this draft song.
Staying rent free, no way. Hope is a prison I broke out from. Michael Schofield in the living, can't stay no more. All of those years gone to waste. I was so stupid trying to sit there and wait for change. You will never change. Gave you so many chances, yeah. So many days. Gave you my heart, now I'm heartless. We apart in apartments. Let's stay this way. Grass looking greener is the same. I can't let you fool me again. I know you won't change.
And then I've got a pre-chorus again.
And I see your message, ain't no reruns. I thought now you think we can rewind, but we can't. Cause hope is a prison I broke out from. Michael Schofield in the living, I can't stay no more. All of those years gone to waste. I was so stupid trying to sit there and wait for change. Yeah, you will never change. Gave you so many chances.
So as you can see in the second pre-chorus, we've got different inflections. I sang it again. I didn't just copy it over, which is sometimes I do that, but sometimes I just like to sing it again because I get the chance to come at it from a different take and have some different inflections, have a different kind, like the same melody, but just sing it with a little bit more energy and just make things a little bit different. I like doing that. So the last tip that I want to give you, tip number 7, is saying the opposite of the line that came before, which is related repetition. And this is a great tool because it makes you seem really smart. Like when I started in trust and we were talking about hate, and then I started talking about love, that's related repetition. We've changed from hate to love. That's like the opposite. And I believe I've done this in other songs, but I don't remember. Let me see if I can find one, maybe in Obama. Okay, so in this line in 100, which is a song that's currently in draft, so it's not mastered and stuff, I basically use parallel lines as well as related repetition, which is a great way to use it, as I showed you before with the hate and then love example. In this one, I'm saying you can or you can, basically showing you can do something, and then or the opposite, you can do something else. And let's play this back so you can kind of get what's going on.
Now I wanna see 100 just to prove that I can do it. No advantage in remaining a victim. You can change your life away on changing the system. We all make some choices that put us in positions, and you either like it or you do something different. You can get some capital and capitalism, or you can sit around and say that it should be different. But life is what it is and it ain't what it isn't. You can take a risk or hate the life that you live in. You ain't
So as you can see, it says you can get some capital and capitalism, or you can sit around and say that it should be different. Is it?
You can get some capital and capitalism,
Or you can sit around and say that it should be different. So opposite of the line that came before, and repeating and parallel lines. Okay, great stuff. When you mix these things together, you can make some really powerful songwriting. So definitely use repetition. Don't overdo it, because then your songs can get boring and stale, but use it enough that your songs are catchy and have enough difference that your songs are still intriguing and interesting to the listener. Even though you've got some repetitive elements, you're still changing things up. So as you can see, you know, you want to use the same flow, the same melody for as long as you can, maybe like 8 bars, maybe 4 bars, and then switch it up a little bit, then come back and keep, don't go around too much. Every 2 bars, you shouldn't be switching up the flow. You shouldn't be switching up the melody every 2 bars. That's too much, okay? You want to keep things consistent for as long as possible without it getting boring, and that's what makes your songs catchy, okay? If you got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. And I do have a free gift for you. In a link down below, you can download 5 of my best R&B trap beats for absolutely free. Definitely grab these ASAP before they go away, or go to jcarteray.com/free beats. Grab those, follow the instructions, and you'll be able to get 5 of my beats for absolutely free. You can also make money with these beats by uploading the songs that you create on them to Spotify, to Apple Music, and to streaming platforms and what have you. Make sure you grab these beats before that goes away completely. Link down below. And if you got any questions or any other tutorials that you want me to make, let me know in the comment section. I hope this video has helped you out a lot. I'm sure it's blown your mind and given you a bunch of great advice and great tips that you can now use in your own songwriting. So it's going to be exciting to see what you come up with. And in the next video, you're going to learn more about music, online business, and online marketing. I'll see you there. Peace out.